What's going on, ghosties? Welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to our podcast. My name is Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
And we are your hosts. On today's episode, we will be discussing the haunted location, Casa de Lamentos, and serial killer of the week, Juana Barraza. My brain is not working. I'm so sorry. As well as a tarot card reading to end the podcast. Chelsea, how are you? I missed
great.
you.
You missed me?
I feel like I haven't spoken to you in like forever.
Less than a week.
Either way, it's been a long time. Well, okay, so ghosties, remember how we talked about me having to sit down and watch some spooky movies because there's a lot of spooky movies that I haven't seen yet? I actually got started on that journey last night. I went over to Z's house and we planned to watch Black Phone together. My question to you is, have you seen Black Phone?
I have not.
Oof. Are you going to watch Black Phone?
Yes, I am.
Oof. Okay, well, obviously this is like a very like psychological type thriller movie. We all know that. We know that going into it. And yet I finished watching that movie with my jaw on the floor. Hello.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I zoned out.
What the fuck?
No, like I was listening, but like I couldn't speak. Like that type of zoned out. You know what I mean? Anyways, why was your jaw on the floor?
Well,
I got stuck. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And take two. I mean, for many reasons, honestly, that movie, I mean, I felt so many, it was a roller coaster of emotions. I felt fear, I felt devastated, I felt angry, I felt hopeful, I felt like there was no, like I lost all hope at one point, you know, and it's like, oh, it's an incredible movie. It's become one of my favorite movies, and if you guys have not watched that movie, I highly, highly, highly recommend. So hopefully I didn't give you any spoilers, but oh my god, be ready. Just I mean you can't prepare yourself for that movie.
Vague but descriptive with this movie, and I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm
like, I want to watch it, but I have no idea what it's about.
No, yeah, no. I same thing. Like obviously black phone. Okay, well, there's a fucking black phone involved. Like you know, and like we've seen the trailer, and you can only assume so much. And I, in a way, went into it blindly. You know what I mean? And I just didn't see any of it coming. So go watch it, and please, I beg you, tell me what you thought, how you felt. I want to know because I know how it made me feel, and I could just only imagine, you know? Anyways.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So, Veronica, I was recently re-listening to some of our earlier episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was episode 1, I made the comment to you that I would rather relive the COVID pandemic than have to relive the year of the killer clowns.
Yeah.
So it was not 2016.
Oh, more recent.
And I found a TikTok. I shared it to you in the group chat with Stephanie, but it was basically, it was this girl, and you know how they're doing the TikToks right now, like, oh, like how did this happen? And then they do like a flashback with like the Ring cameras. So this girl had hers, and it was scar. She pulled up the back of her shirt, and she's got this long ass scar on the back of her spine. Like super thick and like you could tell like it was scarring, and it flashed back to how she got the scar, and swear to God, dude, it was just a picture of a clown opening the door with a knife in their hand. And it said, I was a victim of the year of the clowns, and I lost it. I was like, that was my worst fucking fear.
Wait,
and
is this real?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, she was one of the victims of the killer clowns, and oh my god, dude, I was like, fuck that.
That's dark.
But I wanted to share that with you because we had talked about it, and I just happened to listen to that episode, and I was like, I think I should tell her about that.
Yeah, I love hearing about your trauma. It's great. My goal is to get you to go to the Haunted Museum in Vegas because they have a really nice, beautiful room that I know you'd absolutely love.
No.
If Stephanie could do it, you could do it.
No.
Chelsea.
I would rather go through 23 hours of labor again than go in that room for a second.
You know, I don't even think you're into this stuff. You wimp.
I will go to the. I will not go to that room.
You have to. It's part of it. It's part of the maze or whatever you want to call it. It's part of the journey, man.
I'll figure it out. You'll have to carry me out of that room.
I'll drag you out if I have to.
It'll be good
but
practice.
You're gonna go through that. You're gonna go through that room for sure. If I could do it twice, dude. If I could do it twice.
You're not even terrified of them.
If I could look Peggy the doll in the eyes, you could fucking go through that room.
Yeah, you're something else with that. You're something else.
You're gonna say psycho, weren't you?
I was gonna say it was gonna be a combination of psycho, stupid, weird. Like it was gonna come out, so I just shut up.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm okay to record right now.
No, I love it.
I do too, but I'm gonna hate it when I'm editing.
No, it's gonna be great. You're gonna laugh. Just do it high. Just edit high.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good combination.
Hey besties. Yeah, you know how we call every episode a disaster? Yeah, no, this one is for real a disaster.
Okay, so you like my trauma stories, but I gotta tell you a funny story.
Okay, ready.
So earlier today, this just happened today. I took my niece to the store because we needed some ingredient for dinner or whatever. And while we were there, they have their fall and Halloween stuff out. Mm-hmm. So we grab what we need, and I'm like, okay, let's go look down this aisle. And she's like, okay, like she was super excited. We were looking at everything, and finally she said something. I don't remember what she said. And I was like, now, we don't tell your uncle that we were down this aisle. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So that was cute, right? Mm-hmm. So then we're looking at Halloween cups. And I'm like, there's 3 of them that I really, really, really wanted. And I ended up buying them. And I was like, okay. I was like, we don't tell your uncle that I bought coffee cups. She's like, how's it know?
Damn.
I was like, you're right. I have so many coffee cups, you probably won't even notice. She goes, yeah. So we get back to the house, and he was cooking, and he's always distracted when he's cooking. So I took the chance, and I was like, I'm going to take the coffee cups and go sneak them into the cabinet. This motherfucker, as soon as I stepped foot in the kitchen, instantly stopped what he was doing and came over to me. So he came over. He was just going to give me a hug. Like, that was it. And I got caught with the coffee mugs. And I was like, damn, I was so close to sneaking him in, because like we had been home for like 10 minutes and he hadn't noticed yet. Mm-hmm. And he calls his niece into the kitchen, and he goes, did you and Aunt Chelsea get something that you weren't supposed to get? And she looks at him, and she looks at me, and she looks back at him, and she turns back to me, and she goes, run, Aunt Chelsea, he's on to us. Fucking lost it.
Dude, she's a star. It's her world and we're living in it, you know? Thank you, Chelsea, for that. All right, Ghosty. So I actually have a little game called Revenge. So I know a few of you really enjoyed Chelsea's Would You Rather game last episode. And you know what? I wanted a taste of her own. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, okay, ready?
Yeah.
So I wanted to give her a taste of her own medicine. So I have some Would You Rather questions for you, Chelsea.
Okay.
If you're nervous, you better be.
I'm really nervous. I'm ready.
You're ready. And no thinking.
Okay.
Would you rather be the assholes who burn the witches alive or die a slow, painful death by being burned alive? Being
burned alive.
Watch your best friend die or watch your dog die?
Fuck, dude.
Can't think about it.
My dog. I hate because she's calling me right now.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a TikTok right there. All right, would you rather lick the bottom of someone's shoe or lick the cement?
The cement.
Pull your own thumbnail off with a fork or put a toothpick under your big toenail and kick the wall?
I'm sorry. What was the first one?
Pull your own thumbnail off with the fork, or put a toothpick under your big toenail and kick the wall.
Pull my fingernail off.
With the fork?
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather be attacked by crows or be attacked by bats?
Bats.
Would you rather visit a cemetery or a pet cemetery at midnight?
Pet cemetery.
Would you rather have coffee come out of your nose every time you sneeze or have bacon for nails? Oh my god. Okay. Would you rather have a human ghost haunt you or an animal ghost haunt you?
A human.
Would you rather get a foot massage by the monster under your bed or dance the tango with the monster in your closet?
The tango with the monster in my closet.
And last one. Would you rather spend the night at Bates Motel or stay a night in room 1408?
Bates Motel.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like 1408 will take you on an adventure, you know?
An adventure that I would never be able to leave from.
Yeah, that's true. But you get an adventure. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us through that Would You Rather game. Chelsea, how do you feel? Are you okay?
I'm still thinking about my dog, dude.
Oh, I knew that was going to be a good one. I should have made that one the last one or something, or the first one.
But you know what's sad? I was actually considering killing you instead of my dog.
Now, if you're editing this and you're deciding to edit any of that silence out, or even what I'm saying right now, I guarantee you people will find this out. I will post this everywhere. Ghosties. She was considering killing me over her damn fucking dog.
I told you I was not okay to play this game.
You know what? Our friendship is currently on the line. Let's go ahead and continue with this podcast because we're both professionals, but we got a lot of thinking to do.
So I have some questions for you.
Oh, great. I'm excited.
Would you still be friends with me if I was a worm?
No.
No?
Because I don't want to be friends with you now. Yeah, I would take you everywhere with me if you were a worm. And if I knew it was you. And I'd feed you yummy food. And I'd take you to the beach. And I don't know.
Let me get eaten by a seagull?
I was going to say put you on the grill, but sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, we salty today.
Yeah, we are. That was the adult equivalent of my niece saying your mom.
Yeah. Your mom.
Okay, my last question. How would you get rid of a dead body?
I would probably feed your dead body to, like, pigs. Chop you up.
Okay, going for the classic.
Throw some salt and pepper on there. You never know. Some cilantro. I don't know. I feel like the best way to get rid of a body is by, like, literally doing that. Like, grinding you up and, like, feeding it to the pigs. And, like, you know, what are they going to find?
Did I tell you? I don't know if I did. If I did, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, one moment. Before you guys get scared of me, I got that idea from an episode of, what's that crime show that's been on for like 15 seasons?
CSI?
Nope. With
Criminal
Reed.
Minds?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I got the idea from Criminal Minds. I did not think of that idea by myself. I am not crazy. And if my therapist is listening, I was only joking, okay? Okay, what were you saying?
That kind of scares me because I did think of that on my own before I watched Criminal Minds.
Oh.
Anyways, that I just recently learned like a couple months ago that cilantro is not an English word, it's a Spanish word.
Wait, how do you say cilantro in English?
I don't know, but it doesn't even sound the same, but I didn't even I thought it was like a dual language type of word.
Uh-huh.
And I learned that it was Spanish.
Wow, what's the English word for cilantro? Ghosties, does anybody know?
Look it up.
I felt like Dora right now. Do you know the English version of cilantro?
Coriander.
Correct. Coriander.
Mm-hmm. Cilantro in English is coriander. Coriander. One of those two.
Well, go jump off a bridge, coriander, because what the fuck is that? Nah, cilantro for life. That is ill. Asco. No, no, no.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, how did I never know that?
That's gross.
There's another one too. I don't remember what it is because it wasn't that important. Like it was something that was rarely used, but cilantro is like common and it tripped me out.
That's wild. I don't like it.
All right. So you want to get us into the haunted location of the week?
Yeah. So the haunted location of the week is Casa de Lamentos. La Casa de Lamentos is located in Guanajuato, Mexico. The house saw its darkest days when Tadeo Mejia owned the house. Tadeo Mejia was a serial killer who also performed many satanic rituals. Yes, I'm doing the haunted location of the week, but it just so happens to also involve a serial killer. So, why did he perform satanic rituals, you may ask? Well, unfortunately, in 1800, Mejia's wife was killed during a home invasion. After the passing of Mejia's wife, Mejia couldn't handle the heartbreak anymore. How did Mejia try to mend his heart? Well, he sought advice from a witch who told him to perform human sacrifices in order to talk to his dead wife. It's kind of giving like the Winchester house, like the Winchester story, you know?
Yeah.
With the Sarah Winchester doing God knows what to communicate with the other side and after the passing of like everyone in her family. Anyways, so after murdering an unknown number of people, Mejia would die after attempting to perform a wicked surgery on himself.
Oh.
He was trying to perform some crazy ass ritual surgery on himself, and he ended up killing himself.
Yeah, I could imagine so.
Many skeletons of his victims were found buried in the basement of the house. And the House of Laments is now a museum which you can visit. But be prepared when stepping foot into this sinful house because a number of guests have claimed to hear horrific screams, whispers in their ear, the sound of running footsteps, and cries coming from down the halls.
Stop.
Yeah, this story really gave me the EBGBs, you know what I mean? But like it got me thinking how far someone is willing to go to try to talk to someone on the other side.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, but you would go to an extent. You would look into something spiritual to communicate.
I mean, the Ouija board. I
But
wouldn't
wouldn't you
go to
consider
sacrifices.
but wouldn't you consider like the board kind of being evil in its own way?
Not really. Nothing is like inherently evil. It's just how you use it and manipulate it.
But what if there's a spirit that's like pretending to be good, you know, pretending to be some innocent spirit when really they're like a demon just trying to play you to get any type of like, you know, entrance to you or your life?
See, that's part of the problem with Ouija boards is if you're specific and you're intent on who you want to talk to, that's what's going to be let in. You can't just be like, oh, are there any spirits here? Like stuff like that.
No open-ended questions.
Yeah, no open-ended questions. You have to have an intent, like on who you want to contact or what type of spirit you want to contact. Because if you're just like, well, I want to talk to just whoever's around, that's fine. You need to be specific that you want somebody who is good and not evil and has no harmful intentions. Like, you have to get so specific, and that's what people that think it's a game don't understand. That's when things go bad.
Yeah, definitely. Would you consider the board being like your favorite way to try to communicate with the other side? Or is there like a different way you like prefer to do that?
I guess I'm more of a divination type of person. So I would say like the tarot cards and a pentacle.
Okay.
Which is the stone that you like go in circles. And it'll tell you yes or no.
My favorite way I
pendulum.
Get a pendulum.
A pendulum.
What did you say at first?
I don't know.
Pentacle?
Yeah, a pentacle.
I was like, picturing it too, and I'm like, that kind of sounds like.
Yeah, that's because it was a pendulum.
Yeah, I think my favorite way is something that I haven't tried yet, but I am so excited for the day to come. So there's this thing where if you blind yourself, blindfold yourself. Sorry.
We were just talking about intentions.
You throw some acid in your eyes.
This isn't Daredevil.
I know. Oh, dude. Ben Affleck. No. So you blindfold yourself and then you put headphones on. Your headphones are connected to a spirit box. And then you have someone who's in the same room with you, but they're asking the spirits questions. And the person sitting down blindfolded with the headphones on, which, by the way, they can't hear any of the questions being asked because, it's constantly going. They say the words that come through. And I don't know, I've seen a few videos of people doing it and it seems really trippy and fun and I want to try it.
That does sound fun, actually. I would not want to be the person listening, though.
Oh no, dude. Oh, God. I'm so excited. It's going to be fun.
All of that, like, that gives me a headache after a while. I couldn't do it. That's literally
Don't try to blame it on a head. No, shut up. You're scared.
No, that's literally the only reason. Ever since I had kids, my headaches have gotten super bad.
Yeah. Super bad. No, yeah. Yeah, I would not go do human sacrifices to try to talk to someone. But I guess that's what happens when you ask a stranger who claims to be a witch for advice.
I would never give that type of advice.
Well, anyways, that was my segment. Very short, but yet it did the job. It's a little spooky. Do you want to tell us about the serial killer of the week?
So Juana Barraza is a Mexican serial killer. She was born in a rural area north of Mexico City on December 27th, 1957. Her mother, Justa Sampirio, was an alcoholic who reportedly exchanged Juana for 3 beers to a man who repeatedly raped her in his care.
What the heck?
Yeah. And it was rumored that she became pregnant with a son.
Wow.
Now, she had a total of 4 children, so that's kind of like her early life. Also, before she became a serial killer, she was a professional wrestler under the ring name of La Dama del Silencio.
Wow. That was good. Good job. That's a badass name, though.
Yeah, for those of you that don't speak Spanish, it means the Lady of Silence.
You hear, Chelsea? Not only did she speak Spanish, but she said, for all of you who don't speak Spanish. Damn. Okay, continue.
If I can look at words long enough, I can understand what they're saying. And I've looked at these long enough.
If I can look at words long enough, I could just picture you just staring at a word for like 2 minutes.
Because that's
processing.
Well, no, that's why like my Spanish teacher and I had this conversation on why she thinks it's so hard for me to learn Spanish is because I know so much about the English language that it confuses me on which is which. Because
you're so smart that you can't learn Spanish.
No, like I'm so attuned to the linguistics of the English language that trying to switch to another language is confusing. Doesn't help that I have a slight dyslexia. So
you know what I'm hearing? Excuses. Anyways, continue.
No, okay, so she was a professional wrestler, but she had a strong interest in lucha libre, which for those of you that don't know is a form of what is
Nothing.
for those of you that don't know, it's a form of Mexican masked professional wrestling. And I'm going to be posting a picture of her in her wrestling outfit. So be on the
Yes.
lookout.
Oh, I'm so
Be on the
excited for that.
lookout. So, anyways, all of her victims were women that were aged 60 or over. Many of them lived alone, and she would strangle them. Trying to search for her as a killer was a very complicated process because of all the conflicting evidence.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the police thought that they were looking for two killers and not one.
Mm.
There was also a coincidence that distracted the investigation away from Juana because at least three of the victims they owned a print of an 18th century painting by a French artist, so they thought that it was over that painting. Because it's a classic painting. It was the original.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses around the murder scenes had also described a masculine looking woman,
Mm-hmm.
and police had thought that they were looking for a transvestite, so they were surprised arresting an actual woman and not any type of trans.
Yeah.
Which her wrestling career would make sense for that. So,
yeah.
But when they did arrest her, the police believed that she was a psychopath who felt no remorse for her victims. During her conviction, it's just as complicated as trying to find her.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexico City prosecutors said that had fingerprint evidence that linked Juana to at least 10 of the murders, but they had enough partial fingerprints to link her to at least 40. Now, she admitted during trial she did confess to murdering 3 without involvement in any of the other 40 that they were trying to get her with.
Mm-hmm.
So she was tried in the spring of 2008, and the prosecution was alleging that she had been responsible for the total of the 40 deaths that they tried linking her to. In court, she admitted to one murder, that her motive was lingering regarding her own mother's treatment of her. Now, even though she only pled guilty to the one murder, on March 31st, she was found guilty on 16 charges of murder and aggravated burglary, including 11 separate accounts of murder, so a total of 27.
So, like, after doing your research, do you feel like she did commit all those murders or just the ones that she admitted to?
It's hard to say. Before I answer that, I would definitely go more into it.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sentenced to 759 years in prison.
Oh, only?
Only, yeah.
No mas? Yep. Oh.
Yep.
Easy. Could do that in a week.
And she's still in the Mexico City prisons.
Interesting. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing like a picture of her.
Yeah, but I did find her in a couple of media things. There was a TV series in the early 2000s. There was a documentary that aired in 2010. She was also mentioned in the series Deadly Women on Investigation Discovery. And episode 19 of season 1 of Criminal Minds is partly based on her murders.
Interesting. I like that Criminal Minds did an episode on her.
Yeah, so that
well done.
Yep.
Beautifully done.
She's also known as the old lady killer.
The old lady killer?
Yeah, because they were all over 40.
That's funny because I did a serial killer called the Granny Killer.
Yeah.
They'd be cute together.
So moving on from that scary thought. This week's tarot reading is going to be for Arlene.
Yay, yay.
And she's always been interested.
Yeah,
what? Interested in getting a past life tarot reading. So I found a past life tarot spread by Academy Mysteries on Tumblr. And before we even get started, Arlene, you had a lot of swords in your reading. So I just wanted to kind of explain that suit a little bit more. And it has to do a lot with thinking and logic and strength and being able to handle communication and conflict. So keep that in mind as we're going through the reading.
I'm super excited for this. I absolutely love, and it's my favorite type of tarot reading to do is a past life tarot spread or reading. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
You know, believe it or not, I've never done one on myself before.
Really? Well, we should do one
Yeah.
for you.
I'm actually thinking about doing one, but I didn't want to do it for the podcast because it's 16 cards.
Go on live.
Yeah, we could do that. Anyway, so the deck consists of 8 cards, and card 1 is your early years. Card number 2 is your education. Card 3 is your occupation. Card 4 is your social status or was your social status. Card 5 was your relationships. Card 6 was death. Card 7 was a lesson that you learned during this past life. And card 8 is the past life's impact on your present life. Also, before we get started, like 7 out of 10 of these cards popped out of the deck.
Ugh, I love it when
while
that
I was
happens.
shuffling. Yeah, here we go. Card number 1 is your early years of your past life, and it's represented through the 4 of Cups. Between what the meaning of the card is and the picture that's depicted on the card, I get that your early years were full of being an early riser because the card shows the moon, but it also shows like a sunrise. So I get the feeling that you love the night and the day. So you got up in the mornings because it was still night, and then you got to watch the sunrise. Now, I also get the sense that you're very hands-on on what you used to do, and you might have been feeling regret because you were focusing on negative instead of taking the opportunities that were being given to you. So your early life, you were realizing what made you unhappy and you were trying to do something about it.
I don't know why, but I'm getting like the image of someone who is like a traveler. Like,
dude,
if it's more modern time, I'm picturing like someone living out of their van, but not like in a bad way, like in a beautiful way where they hook up their van, they drive to different places, they enjoy the night stargazing. But another thing to look forward to is the beauty of the morning. I don't know, that's just what I'm getting with that card, and yeah.
Okay, ghosties, are you ready to be mind blown? I want everybody to remember what Veronica just said about what she pictured, which was a traveler.
Oh God. I'm excited. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Okay, so card 2 is your education, and this was through the 9 of Swords. So on the picture of the card, it showed a lady on top of a building with a moon in her hands and sword. And this picture, along with the meaning of the card, which is being weighed down by negative feelings and about to be reaching a breaking point, I feel like your education, you were trying to do more you were allowed to do.
I feel almost too like whatever it was that you were doing with your life, you yourself were giving your own self like lessons to be learned.
Yeah.
You know, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay, so ghosties, just so you know, I did the tarot reading partly where I kind of picked out what I saw in the tarot cards, and now I'm combining that with the meaning of the tarot card. And so I have like a knowledge of what's coming, and Veronica doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tripping me out.
Okay, can I say something really quick?
Yes.
Because I'm not reading ahead. I will only read ahead once we're on that actual card. Okay. But also like this reading is like so clear. Like I'm getting such, and you know this, Chelsea, I don't like saying it on the podcast, but I get nervous when doing tarot reading because I just feel like I'm always going to be wrong, or I hesitate, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel very strong about what I'm saying. I'm picturing everything very clearly in my mind. It's almost like I'm picturing like a story, possibly like her past life, but
okay, so the funny thing about that is I felt the same way, and it was really trippy for me because I've been trying to do more of like a visual with my cards, like that's what I've been practicing on.
mm-hmm.
And I got lost today. I literally got lost. So I was looking at the pictures of the cards and trying to think about what they meant, and it was literally like a movie playing in my head. Like all the pieces of the card that were sticking out to me were literally coming off the card, and it was like making a movie, and it was so trippy. I've never had that happen before. It was
I'm so happy and excited right
real.
now. Like I want to get to the part that you're talking about now. Like
okay,
what am I foreshadowing here?
Okay, I'll keep going. Card number 3 was your occupation, and this comes through the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is very energetic and action-oriented. He is friendly and he's good with words. He's very independent, natural-born leader. Now, with the card stood out to me where I seen a gecko and a lot of animals behind the kings, like a lion and a dragon. So the first thing that popped into my head was that it had to do with Chinese astrology, that you were somehow connected to that either because you were from there or you studied it. Like that was the initial thoughts, like what was coming in. And I think your occupation had a lot to do with astrology, and so that's kind of like the vibe that I was getting from all of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just picturing someone that really loved the night and really loved the stars and the moon and like wanted to see past that and wanted to look into like the meaning of it, you know? I don't know. It's just, it's so beautiful for it not to mean something.
Yeah. So card number 4 is social status. And it means that you felt disconnected from your intuition and you were very withdrawn from those that were around you. And you really needed to focus on what was right for you. And I feel like the reason that, like, I really went into depth with this one because I wanted to know, like, why would she have felt that way? And one of the things that I started looking into was there is a word on the book that the high priestess is holding, and it's called the Torah. Now, I'm not talking about the Jewish Torah. The spelling that is on the card, when I was looking up the meaning, it kept popping up with East Africa, specifically the Omani Empire and the colonial period. So when I was looking into that, then the dates 1814 to 1840 kept popping up, which is the Omani Empire timeline I found out. But that's also the time where Jane Austen was thriving in England. And this is really important because Jane Austen kept popping up in my research too. However, no, I am not saying that you were Jane Austen, Arlene. Sorry. I think though that she was representing your status, which was a wealthy English woman who was inspired by people like Austen, not necessarily Austen, but just people like her because she was using a pen name. And because the card represents being disconnected from your intuition and yourself, I think that you were in the East African countries because you were studying astrology. And I think that the Chinese zodiacs that were in the wands was showing us that you were traveling the world and just showing us a part of your story and your occupation. I think it's interconnected.
Wow. I have nothing to say besides you just gave me a beautiful image in my head.
That was also the connection between the traveling that you said earlier.
Yeah.
And mind
Okay.
you, I wrote that before you even got on Discord with me. So
I didn't even open the notes until right before we were gonna start recording like a dumbass. I was rushing. I was like, oh my god, hold on. I don't know what I'm gonna say. What's my name? Wow, incredible. I love that. I'm loving this.
Okay, so card number 5 represents your relationships, and this is represented by the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands, or sorry, 8 wands in the background, and there's one in the center with a snake coiled around it. And I think that these represent the number of relationships that you had in the past. And this interpretation combined with the meaning, which was that you were having setbacks and trying to gather your strength, and you were having a lot of battles and feeling fatigued. I think that somehow your last relationship, or like maybe it was your first, maybe it was your last, really set the tone for the rest of your life. Like you
Okay.
had Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just getting a hardcore flashback to the Lost Apothecary with Caroline, you know, and her trouble with her marriage and her going to London on her own, and with her going on that journey, taking that risk, pretty much discovered herself in that journey, and that really like helped mold the person who she ended up becoming, you know? And I'm
Maybe
getting like
that
the same kind of like connection in this where like the relationship obviously was not good for
and
her,
set her on a different path.
sent her on a different path that she was meant to take a long time ago. And I feel like she finally like I feel like you did what you loved in your past life, and that's so beautiful. But unfortunately I feel like you got to that point because of some very toxic
Negativity.
relationship.
Yeah.
I feel so psychic. I'm just kidding. My brain is tingling. Oh my god, last episode, dude, I literally felt my brain.
So card number 6 represents your death, and this is represented through the Two of Wands. Card means that you are stuck between two paths and you felt the sudden need to just leave and travel overseas. But what I see with the card is a woman who's in a pretty dress that is surrounded by trees that are on fire. So I feel like you gave into that need to flee and travel, and I think somewhere along the way you had an accident. Maybe you were camping and the forest caught fire, or I'm not quite sure what you would be around, but that's kind of the feeling that I got, was that you died on your journey. Some type of accident. Like, I'm definitely getting the feels of an accident.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting accident.
Are you thinking murder?
I'm thinking, and I hate that I'm about to say this, but I'm thinking like I'm just seeing, because what she finds beauty is like nature, like the stars, the moon. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the world that she loved around her somehow just like wasn't good enough anymore and was dying. Like her own world was dying and she was burning out, and she maybe found peace and thought, I don't know how to explain this, like just wanted to see like what if there was more than that, you know, that physical life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's not go with that one though. But that's like what I'm getting. Like that's what I'm seeing. Like, you know, that's what I'm feeling.
Then we'll keep it.
Sorry, Arlene.
So I completely forgot what card number 7 was. So what I had just said before, like maybe I subconsciously knew, but I totally forgot about card number 7, which is the lesson that you learned during your past life. And this comes through the 7 of Wands. Now, the card itself, some of the things that I had picked up immediately were the wands that were in the background, and there were 7 of them, and there was a lot of stars and constellations, and in the dead center there was a really big gem with the all-seeing eye staring directly at it. And I had originally thought that maybe during her into constellations and astrology, that maybe she found some type of like myth or legend of like a hidden treasure. I don't know why I thought that, but I think like after I had thought that, I was like, no, I think the gem represents something like a knowledgeable treasure. So the card itself means that they were opponents and harassed, that they were fighting for themselves in a corner, but still standing up for what they believed in. And even though she was being challenged to endure it. And I think that's a lesson that she had learned, that even though people were bringing her down, she was still standing her ground and like, no, this is what's right. This is what's right for me. And she didn't let that get to her.
Yeah, I'm seeing her like going through trouble and discovering that she herself is the gem and she herself is valuable. And with that herself, you know, with the seeing eye, like she can see clearly now.
Yeah, exactly. So card number 8, the last card, represents how the past life has impacted your present life. And this comes in the form of the 2 of Cups reversed. You're experiencing a lot of imbalance and resentment right now, and your past life is starting to come into play by trying to let you know that you need to focus on yourself, love yourself. And the photo that's on the card is 2 cups with 2 roses and a set of angel wings. And I think that the way that the roses are crossing each other, I think it's trying to tell you that you have 2 paths that are coming up to you, but you need to the roses are like blocking it off like in an X. So I think you need to stop and really think about everything, and that is coming into play. It's reminding you that you need to stand up for yourself and what you believe and not back down from it.
Well, thank you, Chelsea. That was Arlene. How are you doing? How are we? Are we okay?
I'm sure she's gonna let me know as soon as she's done processing.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear her feedback because this is quite a ride for us.
Yeah, this was a ride for me, and it wasn't even my tarot reading. I was like,
yeah, and
like it was the
I don't
fact.
even really know Arlene that well, but I just felt so connected with her during this reading.
Yeah, and that's what was so trippy, was the connection that I felt with this one. Like I was like, you know what? I'm like, my visual practices with the tarot readings for the podcast, just because I'm still practicing it. But I was like, the visuals that I experienced were so crazy. I was like, I can't not like tame it down. Like I have to put in all this detail.
Yeah.
Because there was just so many coincidences of like times and dates and people that kept popping up in her and her reading, and I was like, this is all connected somehow. Like I don't know how quite yet, but this is all connected.
Well, I really hate to end it here, but guys, to all of our listeners, if you guys are interested in a reading, it doesn't necessarily have to like invade your life and I don't know. There's simple
fun
readings that we could do. It doesn't have to be deep. And if you're interested, give us a message. Like, let us know. We'd be more than happy to do a reading for you guys. If you don't want your name out there, you don't want people to know it's you, we'll use a nickname. And like, don't worry about it.
We've done it before.
We've done it many times, yes. Even for each other.
Ourselves.
Like we've done tarot readings on this podcast under alias names because the readings were a little personal. But anyways, that being said, thank you, Ghosties, for joining us this week. Make sure to give us a follow on our social media. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
Have a spooky weekend. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.